Guys, Layles here, and welcome back to my channel, where I am obviously not playing any of the 3 games that I was playing. This is, if you don't know, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I will not be doing a Let's Play on this game. I am going to just be playing it while I talk about Sims news, because my Sims... my copy of The Sims is just not working right now. I have spent like the past week just trying to fix things. I've lost all of my saves. I've tried doing new saves to build and they don't save apparently. Like, they say they save and then poof, they're gone. And I don't know if this is just something that happened with the latest update that went out. I've not seen anyone else complain about it recently. I've scrolled through a bunch of, like, EA IT help stuff where people had problems previously after updates. And I mean, it's not really helped me a lot. And it's kind of been draining just to do that because, honestly, it takes time and it's like, you know, I'm hitting my head against the wall. But, moving on, because this last week was like a huge week for Sims. Like, phenomenally huge. Not the last news, but I guess the first news that I'd have to cover since not making a video, and just like overall thoughts and opinions that I have in general, would be the announcement that The Sims 4 is free to play now. Officially it was free to play earlier this last week. Or not this last, like earlier this last week. Yeah, it was earlier. Blech. Cannot talk. But the base game is free to play. Any of the like expansion packs you still have to like purchase, but they do have sales going on right now. And then for anyone who had already owned a copy of The Sims, they gave away one of, I think it is the newest kit for free, which I'm gonna be honest, I wish I could zoom in and like stare with my avatar, or we can look at Scar and maybe he can be angry about this. There's good and bad to Sims being free. The good thing, more people are going to be exposed. This could be a way for EA to grow The Sims overall. Do they need to necessarily? They already are a really, really, really well-known franchise. I mean, a lot of people, I think, even who don't play The Sims, have heard of Maxis and know that Maxis and The Sims go hand in hand, and that EA bought them. And, I mean, to this day, I want to say they're not the #1 most sold copies game, but I want to say that The Sims 2 is still, like, really up there in terms of, like, copies sold as, like, overall, you know, like, their, like, world record topping. So, did they need to make it free? Like, I don't think they really needed to. Now, the trade-off with making it free is you've got people who bought the base game when it originally came out and was like $60. Like, actually, I think it was $80, if I'm remembering correctly. I did not buy The Sims 4 when it first came out. I played the free-to-play, it was free for like 3 days, and I played it, and I was not impressed when it first came out. So I was not going to ask my parents, since, you know, I was like 15 at the time, maybe 16. I wasn't even that young, actually. I was probably more like 16, 17. I wasn't gonna ask my parents to like buy it for Christmas when there was just so little in it. Now, of course, the base game today very, very different story. They added so much to it because of the format of The Sims 4 at this time. Like, and how they've done The Sims 4 in general, where they can make these additional updates. I believe they did with The Sims 3, like, the same type of thing. I did not really play Sims 3, so I'm not, like, the person to really comment on any differences or, like, similarities. But I mean, I don't know that the trade-off is the same. Even for people that bought the game discounted, this is going to be my thing about kits. You're paying $5 for like a little bit of something. And that doesn't seem bad when you first think about it, because it's like paying for a cup of coffee, except instead of a cup of coffee, you're getting new content for your game. Like, that as a concept makes sense, but to give people who have put money towards what is supposed to be like your base game and like compare it to a kit, I don't think that makes sense. It also like makes it feel like you're saying that the sale wasn't really a sale and it didn't need to be that expensive to begin with. Now, granted, The Sims 4 previously was on sale a lot. Like, a lot. So maybe realistically at this point in time they're not making, or they weren't making the type of money on it that they were at first. Which, I mean, again, it's okay. I think it's okay. I don't know. I'm not a business person. I may work for like a company trying to make money in my day-to-day life, but like I think that there's an avid difference. And anyways, I'm not sure I like the trade-off. That being said, like, I do think this is like a positive thing in the end, because they are opening it up for more people to explore, more people to get involved. Like, the simming community in general is actually a pretty positive place in my experience. And positive communities, I think, should be the ones that get more notice. And especially in a world where, like, we have so much internet drama and we focus so much on it that things like reality starts not to matter anymore, or like positive relationships don't seem to matter. Instead, you just want to like talk about the crap. um I don't know, that might be like a little rambling that doesn't make sense, but like in general I think it's probably gonna be like a positive thing there. My other thought when I first heard that news was they're gonna announce The Sims 5, which, I mean, basically at the summit, which was the day that Sims 4 went free, they announced The Sims 5. And the reason I hit that conclusion was just because it seems like with every new incarnation of The Sims, something happens with the last one where they're like, oh, let's just make it free. But although it was previously done for like a short period of time, like The Sims 2, you could get the whole thing for free for a while. Granted, I think that was actually like an anniversary celebration thing, but still, that happened when they were in the Sims 3 phase instead of the Sims 2, and I mean, I think it was still Sims 3. Might have been Sims 4. But, like, that happened after its life cycle. So it only makes sense that you're going to make your current life cycle free if you're moving on to the next. So they did announce The Sims 5. It is several years away. They said this is the earliest they've ever thought about announcing anything like this. And they also said, like, for sure that the Sims 4 life cycle is not over yet. Like, they still have things planned. I think they've, like, confirmed at least one expansion pack coming up in the foreseeable future. I know that they showed off art for possibly two, although, like, again, it wasn't really confirmed if it was one or two. It also wasn't confirmed what the next packs are going to be, but, like, there's teasers that feel very generations focused, and that would be interesting to see that, especially for people who play, like, legacies and family gameplay, like, things that are up my alley, basically. So I'm, like, excited for new content. I'm excited also for the other content announcement, which everyone has been focusing on if you watch Summers,
You're
which
in
I
charge.
presume you do,
Shall I
which
practice
was
my
we
curtsy?
are getting better babies, which I am actually pretty excited for because we have not had even decent babies since The Sims 2. And the decent babies in The Sims 2 were just babies that you could pick up, take places, and put them down, and they would just wiggle their arms in the air. Which, like, wasn't necessarily, like, a bad representation of babies, because, I mean, that's kind of how newborns are, but it doesn't necessarily, like, oh, crud. Just put it back. I mean, I would, as I say, like, I'm excited, I guess, is what I really want to boil it down to. They did show a clip, like, towards the end of the summit video that they released that everyone reacted to, and people are thinking it's gonna be what the better babies are. They are talking in the terms of infants, which leads, like, I think not just me, but a lot of people to believe that this may be actually, like, a new life state where we actually can, like, click on them and see needs and, like, have more to do with them. Which, if that is the case, that would be pretty wild. And, like, honestly, something that I would have expected to not see in The Sims 4 and would have expected to come in The Sims 5. Because to add, like, a whole new life phase is a pretty big deal. Why did I even click on that? The other thing was just, like, looking at the clip. It kind of looks like a baby in, like, when they're learning to crawl, so, like, past the newborn stage, but not really a toddler. And I'm wondering if that means that they're gonna get rid of, like, any time of the baby seeming like a newborn baby. Which, I mean, fair play. That means that we have to, like, take care of the babies, and we're not gonna have any time where it's potentially, like, words are just non-existent. Like, I don't know if it really means we're gonna get rid of, like, that newborn phase, and I could see that happening. So I wonder how they're gonna, like, reconcile if they are going to. Like, as I said, fair play. They could take it out completely. I would like to see some sort of, like, maintained quote unquote newborn bit, but again, like, the better babies is still something that's really exciting, I think, in general. And then the other big announcement they had, which they actually put at the beginning, was they are working on a new custom content form, basically, for lack of better wording. I can't remember who it is they're collaborating with to do this, but I think it was like something started with Wolf. I believe I heard they did stuff with Minecraft. Let's see if I can even look it up. Overwolf, that's what it is. I believe I had seen or heard something that they did something similar for Minecraft, which would be not a game that I played, but they have experience in another, like, insanely popular game, then I'm sure it's going to be really great. I also really like that they're doing something that's also connected into supporting with custom content. We've not seen anything like that, I think, since, I almost want to say Sims 2. Again, I wasn't really a Sims 3 player because I loved Sims 2 too much. But I was so sad the day that the Sims 2 exchange went down. Like, insanely upset. I miss like having a website where there was curated content of any kind. Like, even I guess like mods and stuff for the Sims 2, there was an extent to which it wasn't curated. But like just to have a website where like you could have even a starting point when you're someone who only was like at my age in like late elementary school, 5th graders, like 10 years old, just to have something like that, again, I think is really, really cool. And I think it's gonna bring more opportunities to the modders. Like, I mean, I can't say that for a fact because I'm not a modder, but it's gonna be interesting, and it coincides with the other thing that The Sims has done very well over the years, which is like expressed how they want people to mod. They want people to make custom content. They want collaboration. Like, yes, especially in The Sims 4, it's become like content that is free and sometimes like hesitantly said to be better than whatever EA puts out, which is really sad. But like also there's truth. And I think this is gonna be a better New Leaf situation, honestly. The other thought that I had with it was, since they already have announced basically that they're working on Sims 5, which I guess I should rephrase that. Technically, they did not say that it's Sims 5 that they're working on as the newest Sims game. But I think we can basically say it's Sims 5 because they're making it sound like it's a big deal. We knew that the Sims 4 life cycle has been longer than normal, and we knew it was coming. That's all I'm gonna say. But Project Renesmee. It's Renee. I know. I've heard a lot of people accidentally call it Renesmee. Probably because it feels like a Renesmee thing right now. In some weird, odd way. But from what we've seen, like, we don't know anything final in terms of art style, but from what I've seen involving, like, being able to play with multiple people in the way that we can, like, choose who and how, or if we want to play by ourselves, I think that's probably a good way to go about with the multiplayer thing. I know I've reacted previously during a build where, like, it was basically confirmed that The Sims 5 was going to have some type of multiplayer component. And my honest to God initial reaction to that was like, what? No. How are you going to do that without ruining gameplay? Like, I don't want someone to come in and ruin my family's, but I mean, the fact that you can have some control over that and, like, how and who you play with or, like, why you're playing with someone, that I think makes it better, and it does open like more doors, especially for the people who like professionally play online and stream. Like, it'll open so many more collaboration abilities. The other things that was exciting was the ability to like angle and like really control how you want to place things. I thought that was cool. It reminded me a little bit of Planet Zoo. I love Planet Zoo. I'd like to like make videos at some point for that game. Although I'm also like crazy worried because building with that kind of detail is really hard and I am not a detailed person. Like if you've watched my builds, I put in like the minimum amount of detail needed to say it's a decent build. And honestly, like it might mean that my building days are like dwindling, honestly. I mean, I doubt it because I still enjoy building, and I'm sure I'll find a way to enjoy in The Sims 5 when it comes out, or like Project Red A, as we're technically calling it. But the other thing that made everyone so excited, and I've said it before, my like complete unpopular opinion is I hate the color wheel. And that returned with more, like with the patterns and everything. And I know I've said several times I was never really a Sims 3 player. That does not mean that I haven't played The Sims 3. Technically, I own a copy of The Sims 3 through Steam with like a couple DLC, I think maybe like one or two expansion packs. And I couldn't get into it. The graphics were like worse than Sims 2 in my mind. The open world thing was cool, but I also like I think for the same reason I don't like the color wheel is it's a lot. It overwhelms me. I think it might come from like the SPD thing, which I don't want to read into that too much. Um, but it overwhelms me with the amount of decisions or like options that you could have, and I don't have all day to like sit and nitpick every little thing, I guess is how part of me feels. So like maybe it's that I just don't have the patience for it. um but it's like I need to be able to be given like swatches like how we do in The Sims 4 and The Sims 2, um and be able to make a decision based on that, because it helps me have some like basis, I guess, for like how I want to use different items, where I would use different items. Um, I mean, I think when you mix that with like doing an expansion pack generator, like how James Turner has set up on his website, like it makes color palettes readily available, and it forces you to like go outside of your comfort zone sometimes. And those are things that I want. I want that challenge. And that's why like I will buy packs even if I don't necessarily like all of the content in it for building, because I want to do something different. I want to be challenged. I mean, and then like I say that and then obviously I do stuff that feels comfortable while I'm trying to be challenged, but like at the end of the day, I think it helps me become a better, like, I guess, interior decorator type person, even though that's not my job. But, like, it exposes me to more things that I wouldn't think of doing. Um, I guess, like, your personal HGTV channel that is dedicated to making you try new things instead of trying new food or, like, activities. You're trying a new color. If you're gonna leave me with a color wheel, I'm probably gonna make everything gray and then like throw in some black and some blues and call it a day, because I'm not gonna think about like making it past what I like in the same way. And then like I might pick stuff that I like and then not explore more options. It's like I need this balance, I guess, apparently. Um Also, like, I guess if they made... So, a thought just hit my head, is if they made the color wheel situation kind of like how The Sims Medieval is, where there's not a whole lot of options and there's still a color wheel. So, like, it does give you some constraint to, like, help with the overwhelming feeling. But I think that that would not make people happy, because The Sims Medieval is not meant to be the same as like any other Sims game. The Sims Medieval is way much more of like an adventure game. You're playing to fulfill quests, and that's not how The Sims works. In Oh yay, my cat is coming to join us. Um, that's not how the other Sims games, typically work in terms of your main life, like the normal game that's in its current like life. Sage. Hello, lovey. You have thoughts about The Sims? Really? Yes, Noelle is joining us and may say some more things as I close out the video here shortly. But, I mean, that's kind of my overall thoughts. Hopefully, I will get back with a Cattails video and a Nancy Drew video this week. I'm going to continue to sort out what's going on with my Sims stuff. Worst comes to worst, I will just start over with the high school years Let's Play, and I mean, I really don't want to do that, but it's looking more and more like that's what I'm going to have to do. And, I'll catch y'all in the next vid. So, bye guys!